Hello again. Actually, we are very sorry for these problems because we wanted to make this webinar as public as possible and chose YouTube for this event. I don't know whether now it became a bit better. Just let me know if now you listen to me, listen to us better, and the quality of the sound is better. I hope it is, because we changed the settings dramatically. And whether you are still here with us, just let us know. Okay. If you want, we can start from the beginning. Okay. We can start from the beginning and we will be waiting. Okay. I don't know whether you heard my explanation regarding Bluetooth Low Energy and what it is. Because as I have already told you, Bluetooth may be different. There are several types of Bluetooth, and not all devices which have Bluetooth inside of them might be wireless, because to be wireless, the device should have a Bluetooth Low Energy module, because there are several versions of Bluetooth. Bluetooth 4.0 is what you need if you really want a wireless device. And you can read here the definition from Wikipedia, which we took to demonstrate you what it is, Bluetooth Low Energy. And now I would like to tell you about advantages of wireless devices in contrast with wired devices. However, the goal of this webinar, of this presentation, is not to remove absolutely from your mind the concept and the advantages of wired devices, because definitely there are many situations and cases where wired devices are still more efficient, are still better and more interesting to use. And I think today we will consider all these cases, maybe not all, but some of them. So the installation process of wired devices is definitely more complicated and longer than wireless devices, because actually you will need wires, you will need a personal computer, tools, and maybe some qualified staff as well. Wireless devices do not require all this, because the installation is generally isn't quick. I don't know, I would like to introduce our technical support as well, Dmitry, which is who is just nearby, and maybe he will add his points to this statement, actually, because wireless, do you agree actually that wireless devices installation is always easier and quicker?
For sure I am. Wireless devices mostly, I believe, just need you to become familiar with the wireless technologies, wireless ideas that standing behind these technologies. Actually, for example, in Neomatica devices, ADM07BLE, you can just put the MAC address of the sensor of various sensors of various kinds, and the installation begins automatically. You will have the results just in 2 minutes, and then you can just install the device's sensors wherever you want, and nothing more is required. But when we talk about wired solutions, it always took from you a giant amount of time and a giant amount of strength to, put these long wires in whole car, try to hide it somehow, because it's very easy to damage the wires, so you will not be able to gain any information, gain any data from these sensors, from this periphery that you chose to install. And in this case, in case of usability, in case of how comfortable wireless devices, I believe that they are much better. I believe, much better.
So equipment, heavy light, I think it's clear because of the presence of wires, and very often wired trackers may be as well very small, but the presence of wires actually spoils everything in contrast with wireless devices. The connection, so it's clear that the connection is actually subject to the length of wires in case with wired devices, and with Bluetooth low energy devices it's up to 100 meters in the direct line of sight. And here we emphasize this fact that really the direct line of sight, what it is, this is actually an open space, an open field where there will be really no obstacle between the GPS tracker and sensor. So because if there are some obstacles, we cannot guarantee these 100 meters of coverage between them, because if the line of sight is not direct, if there are obstacles, we can talk about 50 meters, maybe a bit more, but 100 will be already problematic. Functionality. It's clear that the functionality here in wired devices is always limited by the number of interfaces, inputs, outputs, whereas for Bluetooth low energy devices this is not limited, because in our existing devices we can in theory go up to 15 devices which might be simultaneously connected to one GPS tracker. Reliability, clear as well. Connection is lost if wires are cut, and here with wireless devices, connection is lost if the distance between units exceeds 100 meters or if there are serious obstacles between them, as I already told you. As for extra features, I put here none for wired devices. However, you can not agree with me, because you can say that in wired devices we can find many extra features, because wired devices might be very, very different, multifunctional. I agree, but here we are just talking about some maybe non-typical properties of these devices. For example, wireless devices might be used as BLE tags, and in some cases you can even replace your RFID solutions, which are rather expensive, rather heavy as well, and as well have many wires and many units, because for RFID you will always need RFID reader, RFID tags, and a GPS tracker. You can, in some cases, in some situations, replace them by BLE devices, which will play the role of wireless tags. Why? Because all our wireless sensors behave as tags, because they always assign a specific identification number to each object where they are installed. And this is a big plus, this is a big advantage, because Without any RFID unit, you may control, monitor the object where your TAC, your wireless sensor is installed, because this is not its main function. This is not the main function of our temperature or inclination sensors. However, they are quite capable to do it. So this is just like a pleasant option, pleasant adventure that you will have if you use our device. You want to add something about BLE talks? Okay.
Maybe my additional comments will be not just about tags, but about wireless and wired at all in general. Because, we do not want you to think that we are against wired solutions, because they recommended itself very good. It's significant. They are significant for current situation, and for sure wired solutions, for example, are more resistible for some kind of fraud. I believe that every of you knows about various kind of spoofing, about some Bluetooth weaknesses that could be used by those who do not want you to receive the data. They can influence on this data. They can send you their data and so on. So wires in this case are much more, I believe, suitable, reliable. Yeah.
Yes.
Also about tags, yes, Ksenia said everything right.
Thank you. No, I just think that there are some specific cases where you don't have such a really big distance between the GPS tracker and Bluetooth low energy device, extra device, and many situations when, for example, it is not really required to use some complicated, expensive units, and instead you can really use this very simple solution, simple and affordable in this case, and wireless. So it's possible. It's possible. And you will be actually the first who will see now our new GPS tracker, our new wireless GPS tracker, how it will look, how it looks already, because everyone already knows our small James Bond GPS tracker, ADM007, Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE, which is very small, which, however, it is capable to perform many functions despite of its smallness. Yeah. However, many of you were not very happy about the absence of battery and accelerometer in this small wireless tracker. And as per your multiple requests, we finally created a wireless GPS tracker with inbuilt battery and with accelerometer. Here in the chart you can look through the main properties, main characteristics of both devices. You can compare. You can see that in contrast with the previous device without battery, this one has moreover one discrete output and two nano SIM cards, which and for sure accelerometer and for sure the battery. The name of this device is ADM 333, or as we call it also 333. So, and we will be very happy to present it and to bring some samples of it to Johannesburg in the South Africa for CQRX already this May, and for Expo Seguridad in Mexico. We will for sure bring some samples and we'll show you and we'll give you for testing everything. So you are very welcome to ask us for samples and to write to sales@neomatica.com with your requests. Okay. And we have some other news. What is new is the body of our ADM31, our temperature, humidity, light, and magnetic field sensor, our multi-purpose sensor, as some clients call it already. I can show you, actually, I don't see me, this is the problem. Okay, I have here, yeah. Yes, now you can see. I have both of them in my hands. I think you can see. I will just show you to compare. This is the first version of our ADM31, the sensor, yeah. It is square. I can show you, quite square. And the new version of the same sensor is the round form, which you can see, yeah. The round and transparent, translucent. So, what is the difference? The difference is not only about the body, because actually size and weight is will be different. Here it is not specified because we just generalized the information regarding both sensors. However, what is really different, what will be different, and what will be really cool about this round sensor, that it will have memory in the future. Yes, because this is also as per your multiple requests, because our first step was to create a mobile application with which you are already able to receive, to get all the data from the sensor without any platform, without using WLON, for example. You can just get all the data if you download our free mobile application. ADM BLE Configurator is the name of this application. And that was the first step to the independence. And the next step, which will make our sensor totally independent of the GPS tracker, will be the logger, the integration of the logger inside the sensor, because this round sensor already has inside the memory module, the logger module, and however it is not, we didn't enable this logger module yet, but we will do it with our with one of our firmwares. So in the future you will be able just to upgrade your firmware, and you will enable this function in this sensor. Yes, and Dima wants to add something to my brief speech, I think.
Yes, Ksenia said you a lot about what we are going to do, but maybe I can add a little bit what we already did. Maybe some of you are familiar with our sensors, and now I'm happy to say you that we added settings function in our sensors. Now you can change the sleeping time, so you know that many of wireless sensors have fixed time of advertisement. So you can receive data, for example, once in 15 seconds or once in a minute. So it's not maybe suitable for some cases. Now we added a very flexible setting option in our sensors, so you can, for example, set 5 seconds if you want to monitor the temperature, the illumination, the humidity. It's very important, for example, for some medical cases connected with medicine, or make it much larger, up to 4 minutes, to be, if you are concerned about the battery lifetime, it can make the lifetime much bigger.
But the battery life is always 1 year.
Yeah.
And the battery is replaceable, so you will be able to change it after some time. You will not have to buy a new sensor. And I think one of the interesting things is as well that the body of all our sensors is 65. We put 65, however, they even maintain drops of water, and in our first video about these sensors, we put one of our sensors in the Mac with hot water, and nothing bad happened to it. So I think that this IP is maybe even higher, because even we can talk about IP67 in this case. So the next, I think, I will show you at the same time 2 slides, because here we demonstrate platform and after you can see mobile application. But let's come back to the platform. Why we decided to demonstrate you both options, because both options are quite possible with our units, with our sensors. And you can use your beloved and your favorite platform while on, for example. And because many of you, I'm sure, know that it's possible to check the data in the general interface of the platform. However, in some platform, for example, in Wylon, you have a specific application, as for example, Sensilator, when you can see detailed data regarding temperature, humidity, battery voltage, battery charge, and light. Yes, and even you can generate reports containing graphs, curves, which will demonstrate to you all the changes, all the fluctuations which were present during the transportation of your cargo, for example. This is really cool about our sensors, I think, and about this platform Wylon, because no place for fraud, no place for any lie is left now here, because the operator, the owner of, let's imagine, logistic company, will be able to prove that this or that cargo has been perished or spoiled because of, for example, the bad behavior of the driver, not and it was not his or her responsibility. And you can definitely use it to prove that you work well, for example, and some people did not. And you can also use this mobile application. This is a simplified monitoring version, because you will just download our free mobile application called ADMBLE Configurator. And here we put the 3 screenshots. The first screenshot is how it looks from the Google Play. The second screenshot demonstrates the ADMBLE configurator with our old firmware, because here you can't see the humidity data. And this is the third screenshot, shows you how the same might be changed if you upgrade the firmware of your sensor, because on this screenshot you can see already the presence of humidity, yes, temperature, humidity, light, voltage here you can see, and even the whole sensor, yeah, because we updated it, and you update the firmware and it changes. It's very magic, I think. So, fields of application of BLE products, I think you know them even better than us, because users, our clients and customers often teach us how to use our devices in life, how to put them in life. And always they tell us about even most unusual cases of application, or fields of application of our devices. And actually we generate cases based on our experience, but primarily based on our customers' experience. The first and very evident case of application is using in refrigerators and trucks with perishable food, medicine, plants, livestock, and I put here etc. because I think the list is not finished here, because you can this is always up to you. If you have some products, some goods which require special transportation conditions, so do not hesitate to use to try our sensors, to try our trackers and the platform here. Stationary refrigerators in malls, factories, or big stocks. Here you can use only our ADM31, our temperature sensor, and free mobile application, which I showed you before, because you don't need to monitor the location of the object here, so logically you don't need the GPS tracker, and you can just stay with your ADM31. Garbage collection, for this you can use ADM32. You will just put this sensor to the garbage bin, and wireless tracker in the driver's cabin of the garbage collecting vehicle, and you will be aware of which container, which bin has been treated, has been emptied by this driver, and it will allow you to monitor the whole situation in this way. Very comfortable. Wireless fuel management maybe is one of the most demanded use of these wireless solutions, because you can use one GPS BLE tracker and connect to it several fuel level sensors. Now we are integrated with fuel level sensors Escort and Techneton. Here you will need a platform to monitor the fuel level, because I can't really imagine how it could be without platform. I think it's already, it would be complicated. Trailers and tow vehicles monitoring instead of RFID. We mentioned that because actually it coincides with the use of PLE units as PLE tags. And I wouldn't maybe explain it more, because I hope that was clear. Anti-theft solution. Actually, you will need a BLE tracker and BLE relay for remote cut of the engine plus the platform. That was actually we didn't mention BLE relay in the very beginning of our presentation while talking about our new products and our wireless solutions. However, very soon we are planning to launch the production of Bluetooth Low Energy Relay, which will work with all our wireless GPS trackers, and which help you to prevent thefts of cars, vehicles remotely. I can just describe very shortly how they will work. They will specifically react to the to the absence of connection between them and the GPS tracker. When this connection will be lost, the engine will be automatically shut down. So this will be the principle, and this is actually the principle which exists already now, and they will cut the engine with specific commands as well. And so there are actually many things to say about those BLE relays. If you are interested, just let us know, write us, call me. I'm very talkative.
I think I have
yes.
just one little moment to add. Once you heard about that, the relay will be activated and cut the engine if the connection is lost. I need to maybe clarify that we have some idea how to prevent occasionally signal loss, because Bluetooth technology is the thing that still can be a little bit unstable. So if you are afraid that your car will be stopped in case of not in case, I'm sorry, if your car will be stopped when you are driving at speed of 100 kilometer per hour, do not be afraid. We managed it already. I think I cannot say you how, at least for now, but this is the thing that we already thought about and we know how to deal with it.
Okay, so let's continue. This is so when I created this slide, the guys told me that this is a flower. This is a I don't know, marguerite maybe, or chamomile. However, in my opinion, this flower demonstrates very clearly all the advantages of wireless GPS trackers. In the center, I put BLE GPS tracker ADM, because now we have two models of wireless GPS trackers. I will remind you, ADM 007 BLE and ADM 333 or 333. And you can see many devices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. Yes, I put 9 circles here, and you can see that all those devices are different. ADM31 again, ADM32, Escort BLE, I meant here Escort fuel level sensor, wireless fuel level sensor, Technoton fuel level sensor as well. And we recently integrated as well our GPS trackers with axle-load sensor made by Technoton, because we added it in our new firmware. The point is that all these devices might work simultaneously even with our simplest GPS tracker ADM 007. Actually, I think that from the marketing point of view, it's really a revolution because in the past and now, generally, to fix so many issues and to actually to find a GPS tracker able to work simultaneously with so many extra devices, actually this means buying an expensive and multifunctional GPS tracker. And I think that here we changed the concept dramatically, because our first wireless tracker even does not have an accelerometer battery, and it is the terrible secret of it, but it doesn't have even odometer. But you can still work with it. It's very affordable, thanks to all these minuses. However, you still use it to work simultaneously with 8, 9, 15, in theory, 15 devices. And it's still possible. Just tell me whether you know at least 1 or 2 so cheap, so small device which can do it as well. And installation. Yes, I think I will just take the microphone to Dmitry to explain all this.
Yes, I think that this is my cup of tea. Yeah. Dramatic cup of tea. Installation for Bluetooth devices is thing that is pretty important too, because wireless solutions, wireless technologies are requiring from us to be, to be interested in opportunity to install them correctly, to receive the maximum of opportunities of capabilities that they can perform. So here you can see little instruction about how to configure ADM31 with the ADM07 BLE tracker. So the simplest process that I already described today in my very first phrase, I believe. You just need to put the sensor within half of a meter of tracker coverage, and just press one button. You can write me and I'll show you how to make it with individual instruction. One button, auto connection, and the tracker will start to find every Bluetooth device, Bluetooth low energy device that are within this half of a meter. So after configuration, you can just pull the power supply from the tracker. You can take the sensor, put it whenever you want. Just one little clarification that it will be good for connection to install the sensor with BLE antennas directed to the tracker. So in the first, in the second picture, you can see how it should be installed. You can see this empty area in the left of the sensor. This is antenna, and it should be directed to the tracker. After you connect the power supply of the tracker to your car, and everything is already working. You're already having your data in the server, in the tracker, and for sure in our mobile application.
Okay. So this is the end of our presentation, and here you can see all our contacts details to actually to write us, to call us. Do not hesitate to call, to write in any language you're comfortable with. And I think now it's high time to answer your questions, to read all your comments. Okay. Okay, please show the device in close up. I think we did it. Actually, we can do it again. Yeah? Yeah. You can maybe enlarge the video. Yes. Yes, because this will be more comfortable. Okay. Yes. I don't know whether you see, this is our new ADM31. Very small, very round, and very transparent. A bit green inside. So this is our previous model, but we have many pieces left in stock, so we'll be quite happy to sell them as well. And what we have? Yes, ADM 32. This is our angle sensor, yeah. And but I think ADM 07, James Bond. Everybody saw it again. So James Bond. I can't show you our ADM 333, but maybe.
333.
No, this is not true. This is 300. You can bring it. Okay, bring it. We will just make the full presentation for you. Yeah, if you want. Dima will bring ADM 333. Do you like the name of this GPS tracker? Because honestly, that was my idea. And honestly, I wanted to this. Yeah, we can also show you. In the meantime, I can show you the fuel level sensor. The fuel level sensor by Technoton. This is the wireless fuel level sensor, which our GPS trackers can work with. And I don't have here a scored fuel level sensor, but actually it looks similarly. Okay. In the meantime, I think I will try to answer other questions. Okay. Let's see. Okay. In Russia, more than 50% of subscribers work in 2G networks, right? And not only in Russia, I think, and all our existing wireless devices are 2G. We didn't mention this, but it's a very important question. Thank you, our dear Alexander Ivanov, for making this question, because it's really important to specify that all our wireless GPS trackers now are 2G. However, we are planning to launch the production of LTE wireless GPS trackers. This is already the project which is also in our plans. I hope we will start it this year, because it's really demanded. Okay, let's see. Then next. I see that was a nice discussion here about 2G and 3G. Because yes, this is a real problem, and I know that in many countries already even 3G is not available. For example, in Canada, in USA, in Japan, I think, in Australia, and now in Latin America, they are starting to cut 2G everywhere. And for this, that was the reason for which also we decided to think of LTE trackers, because we have now ADM 700, the GPS tracker, which is 3G, but this is the only one GPS tracker 3G that we have. Okay, let's see. I see John is learning Russian. It's very good, John. I remember you. We're speaking Russian sometimes in the Gurtam chat. Okay, Dima brought the 333. I can show you. It is very small as well. So I will show you. Very small, gray, square.
It will be in black case if you want.
Yes. Has already several inputs, outputs. Actually, this will be our first wireless GPS tracker with inbuilt battery, with inbuilt accelerometer,
Yes.
and everything. Okay, so I think we can end up our first webinar. Thank you very much for your patience, and very sorry about the beginning, because just we hope your understanding. This is our first experience, and we are really willing to make this webinar as public as possible, and we decided not to use the webinar platform. Maybe next time we will change the concept of these events. And
The next one.
the next one, what, John? Webinar, you mean? Or the next GPS tracker? What do you mean? Actually, the next webinar, if you meant this, will be already next Wednesday. But it will be in Spanish. You will have to learn Spanish as well, but you have 5 days left till Wednesday, so good luck. Yes, in Spanish will be the same, just the same, however in Spanish. And the next webinar, I think it will be in already in summer maybe, because in May I don't know why Dima is not very happy about this idea, but I think
Actually, Ksenia just doesn't know that we will conduct a stream when we will be in Mexico, or when we will be in Africa.
For this reason, I say that we will arrange the next webinar maybe in summer, because now we will be very busy with preparation for exhibitions, because we will go to Mexico first for La Expo Seguridad, and then we'll go to CECREX in the South Africa, and will be quite available in June, I think. And in June, so now if you just suggest us any topic of a new webinar, we'll be very happy as well, because this topic has been chosen as per your will, as per your request, because the first thing we did, we put the list of possible interesting topics, and you chose wireless solutions or wireless versus wired, something like this, and we just combined two topics in the one, and decided to hold this webinar. So okay, good to see effective use of level sensors. Yes, I think it's a cool thing about our GPS trackers, because you can simultaneously use fuel level sensors of different trademarks of different manufacturers. I think it's really fantastic, because you're not limited here. Okay, if actually the strange thing that the number of viewers is increasing now, because this is the end of the webinar, and now I see that more and more people are joining. Okay, of education. Okay.
Я думаю, специально для Александра мы можем сказать по-русски спасибо за поддержку.
Большое спасибо, Александр, за поддержку. Thank you very much, Alexander, for your support. Because this is really our first experience, and I think we will continue to be continued. And thank you. This webinar, will be. We will save this webinar for everybody, yes, and we will. I think we will post it in social networks and at our website and everywhere for you. You will be able to watch it. Continuous learning. I think you are really enjoying the communication. Okay, thank you for your attention, for your time, for your interest. Yes, and see you next time at a new webinar, and we'll be looking forward to seeing all of you again. from Russia with love, from Neomatica with love. Thank you.